Everything nowadays is no longer in the control of the individual. Our health, our moods, our daily decisions are controlled by external factors, from outside. We are nothing more than controlled vessels reacting to the world. The never-ending excuses of bad behavior has already reached comic levels. Only our desensitization and saturation in the absurdity keeps many from us from noticing it to its full horrific scale. It has already been long ingrained in our children, many of who are already parents themselves. All undesirable behavior are a result of external factors, chemical imbalances, social injustices, time pressures, poor schooling, or other deficiencies in government interventions. All are reasons why the innocent children display their negative traits, are unable to cope in such an unjust world. There is a psychological disorder for everything, a drug for every supposed chemical imbalance. All are only a victim of circumstance, no responsibility required. And so the foundations are laid. We all slide into the role of hapless victim. Everyone and everything becomes a perpetrator against our fragile emotional state. We are now expected to simply accept our untrained mind, and indeed almost glorify our weaknesses, instead of actually working hard for internal change and making us stronger and wiser. The proudly ignorant must instead strike out against these perceived external risks, supposedly responsible for our negative emotions and reactions. The nanny state, safe zones, attacks against free speech, all are a vain attempt to remove all responsibility away from the individual, shield the naive against any form of self-improvement and resilience that any sort of mental pressure might bring with it. People are no longer seeking the truth, they are seeking an excuse. This disempowerment is a potent tool. Freed from any responsibility for their own well-being and happiness, people are more willing to accept their lot, as they honestly believe they are not in a position to change anything without help from outside. They become dependent followers, ignorant of their own potential for change and fixated on the chosen few to give them what they think is missing. These gifted individuals, seemingly endowed with these abilities from birth, will show the way, as having to accept that anyone could achieve these character traits with enough effort would be too depressing and quite frankly insulting for many. And we wonder why superhero movies are so popular nowadays. If I had those abilities, I would be a hero. I could save the world. Yeah. The truth that, with sufficient effort, we could all massively change the world just sounds too much like hard work. And so here we are, potentially re-entering another age of aristocracy, where the elites fool the rest of us into thinking that we cannot change anything, that we need them to even have the meager amount of happiness that we are allowed to have. Once again, people need to be reminded. They need us. We never have, and never will, need them. Let us not slip into another round of self-doubt and delusion regarding our true inner strength.